So you're sure that's how I pronounce it?
I'm positive.
Yeah, I don't want to get it wrong.
Welcome to Destination Virginia.
Nataduans apone. Why are they laughing?
You did a great job, Karen.
What did I say?
We'll be right back.
Barry! Welcome to Destination Virginia. Today we're at York River State Park, located on the York River in beautiful Williamsburg, Virginia.
Virginia is home to many incredible parks, 7 of which are located in the southeastern part of Virginia, near the Chesapeake Bay and the Atlantic Ocean.
Kipto State Park, located on the eastern shore, is home to a unique migratory bird habitat and is known for sunset kayaking out to the ghost ships. Chipokes Plantation State Park, located just across the James River from historic Jamestown in beautiful Surrey County, offers a historic area to tour and 12 miles of multi-use trails, bike, or hike. First Landing, one of Virginia's most popular state parks, is an oasis within urban Virginia Beach, offering 20 miles of hiking trails and 1.5 miles of sandy Chesapeake Bay beach frontage.
It is gorgeous here, Karen, and not only is this state park known for its cultural history and its natural history, but it's designated as the Chesapeake Bay National Estuarine Research Reserve.
I'll say that 3 times fast. It is fantastic, and I'm so excited to go hiking and fishing and boating, and I hope you're ready to go exploring, because when we come back, we'll visit Machicomoco State Park.
Welcome back to Destination Virginia. Today we're visiting some of the beautiful parks throughout the state of Virginia. And Karen, when you think of a state park, what do you think of?
I think about hiking and picnics and canoeing.
Yes, all of that. But at Machicomoco State Park, there's so much more. It was designed as an Indian education center. In fact, through an interpretive education experience, you can learn some of the Algonquian phrases.
So you're telling me I can learn actual, correct Algonquin phrases?
Yes.
Nice. Let's check it out.
Machicomico means special meeting place. One of the things that the Department of Conservation and Recreation is really focused on right now is our diversity, equity, and inclusion plan. That is not new to the department. We've been working on it for several years. And so as we develop parks and as we develop programs, we're trying to tell more stories. We're trying to tell stories that relate to all Virginians and ensure that we're providing access and a welcoming environment for all citizens of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Most of our parks have a mission or a core reason why they exist. Some of those are natural, some of those are cultural and historic. The focus of Machicomoco State Park is really on the interpretive and educational aspects of the parks and celebrating the native tribes of Virginia. The state parks belong to everyone, and we want to create an environment and create an interpretive plan that reflects all of the people that we serve. We engaged the tribes of Virginia heavily, and they came in and talked about the place and the location and the history of the tribes. And so this was a name that was brought up by the tribes and through that input process. It's a story we weren't really telling in the system that needed to be told. And as we were exploring the site, we were finding artifacts and locations that seemed to be important to Native American tribes. And so this was a really good place to tell those stories. In the interpretive plaza, you can learn the history of this area and some of the tribes of Virginia, both through our signage, and then we also have a really nice stone monument where you can see where tribes would have been located geographically, overlaid with some of the modern geographic markers as well. In the interpretive plaza, there's a timeline that describes how the tribes lived on the land and in the area over time. As you venture off of the interpretive plaza and you're walking along the trails, you will see some Algonquian words with the modern day English translations so you can see what things were called. And those words are specifically focused on the natural elements that you'll see around you. So parts of the landscape, maybe some of the animals that you might see, or even some of the activities that you might do. There's a lot to do at Machicomoco State Park. We do have a campground, we have developed sites for RVs, primitive sites for tenters, and we have yurts that can be rented. There are miles of walking trails, both paved walking trails and more primitive walking trails in the park. We have 2 water accesses. We have the car top boat launch, which has an ADA accessible launch for people of all abilities to be able to get their paddling crafts out onto the water. And we also have a marina. People that are already out on the York River can stop, tie up, and come and visit the park. Before they come to Machicomoco State Park, they should have an idea of what there is to do here and what they should bring with them. This park does not tend to close for capacity yet. It's relatively new and people are still finding it. That's not true across the entire state park system. We do have parks that are very, very busy, and understanding how busy a park is and how it's used and what some of those timelines are for when parks fill up is really important for visitors to know. If visitors come to a park and they find that that park is full, the best thing they can do is to leave their house with a backup plan. What is your plan B? When you leave your house to go out to a park, you really want to get out and enjoy your day. You don't want to spend time once you get to the park and find it's full figuring out what you want to do. And so before you leave for a park, I'd look at what else is in the area, think of where else you might want to go. Usually there is a park within a relatively short driving distance where you can go to another Virginia state park and still have a great day. We talk a lot about hacks these days and how you can hack this or hack that. If you want to hack your visit to Virginia state parks, you want to get on the website. You want to understand the park system and what that park has to offer, and then also understand its visitation patterns. Are they a park that fills up? Is there a part of the park that you want to go to, and how popular is that area of the park? Understand what the park has to offer. Some parks have snack bars and concessions, other parks don't. And so if you're going to a park, you might want to understand that so you know whether or not to pack a lunch. Bring the things that you need: sunscreen, insect repellent. As the sun goes down, the bugs come out. And that's an easy problem to solve. It doesn't have to ruin your experience if you're just prepared before you go. Another thing you can do to hack your state park experience is to visit during the week. Even those most popular parks in the system are going to have plenty of room for you during the week. A lot of people can go to parks in the middle of the week right now because they're working remotely. I myself have been working remotely, and I've had some really exceptional work days in state parks where I have done the Zoom meetings that we're all doing, but I've done it from the deck of a yurt. But before you plan that, you really want to understand what the signal strength is and the Wi-Fi availability in the park. In our jobs, we turn the places we love into workplaces. But even when I'm working, when I come into a park, there's a sense of slowing down a bit. Your mind quiets a little bit. You connect to nature, and you're able to really escape pressures of your daily life. Even if you come to parks to work, that still happens here, that you come to this place and you connect to the place, and that filters out some of the noise of daily life.
That was so much fun. And I love how the Virginia State Parks are a relatively short drive, but you feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. It's so peaceful.
That is true, Karen, but if you really want to get away from it all, you have to check out False Cape State Park. What's really cool about this park, there's only 2 ways to get in.
Oh.
You either hike in or bike in. And if you love camping, you can actually reserve a spot on the beach. It doesn't get much better than that.
Oh, it sure doesn't. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Destination Virginia. We're on the trail that leads to Fossil Beach at York River State Park, and we're highlighting some of the beautiful parks here in Virginia, located near the Chesapeake Bay
And the Atlantic Ocean, where you'll find beaches, biking, hiking, and my favorite, canoeing.
Now, this next state park, there's only 2 ways, Karen, you can get in, either hiking or biking. So my question, are those shoes comfortable?
Well, you know, I was gonna wear my heels, but I changed my mind.
I knew you'd be on top of things. Stay with us as we visit False Cape State Park.
False Cape is a unique park. From the Atlantic Ocean to the beach, to the dunes, to the shrub oak thickets, to our maritime forests made up of live oaks and loblollies, to marshes, swamps, bogs. We have many different habitats here. And because we have many different habitats, we have wildlife that you're gonna find native to a coastal environment, ranging from white-tailed deer to bobcats, muskrats, and minks. We have an abundant amount of reptiles. We have the eastern cottonmouth. That is probably going to be the most predominant snake you're going to see when in the park. We tell all our park guests to stay on the designated trail. If you stay on the trail, you should be okay. We get thousands of different species of birds that migrate through here every season, ranging from raptors and songbirds in the fall and the spring. The winter months are very popular for wintering waterfowl, snow goose, and swans. Being a unique environment, this is a park that you need to plan to come to. It's not something that you just wake up and say, I'm going to False Cape. There's a few things that you need to be aware of and that you need to know. False Cape does not allow vehicle access into the park, and you must hike, bike, or boat in through a National Wildlife Refuge just to get to us. As far as mileage, it depends on how far you're going to go. From where you parked your car at the Refuge Visitor Center, it takes about 4 miles to get to the entrance of False Cape. Now that's just the entrance. False Cape encompasses over 4,500 acres that border North Carolina. Within those 4,500 acres, we have about 16 miles of hiking and biking trails. False Cape offers 26 campsites, and they are primitive. Reservations are required at least 24 hours in advance. We do not do same-day or walk-in reservations. We do require that you call our 1-800 number to make a reservation. We want you to speak to somebody. We want you to ask those questions. After you visited our website, everybody always still has questions. And we do ask that you practice a leave no trace, which means everything you bring in, you must take out, including your trash. False Cape is actually just full of historical and cultural and obviously natural resources. You get to see what a coastal environment really used to look like before we started putting up, homes and buildings. Kind of takes you back in time a little bit. The shoreline of Virginia and North Carolina are called the graveyard of the Atlantic. The sandbars and shoals right off the coast here in False Cape are very, very shallow. We have hundreds of shipwrecks right off our coast here. Something that kind of stemmed off all those shipwrecks were the life-saving stations. The life-saving stations dotted the entire coastline, so that is kind of how the community of Washwoods started. That's how people began living out here. That is where the Washwoods Methodist Church comes from. It was because of the life-saving stations and was because of all those shipwrecks. We provide tram tours that give historical aspects and talk about the history when we show you these places. So that's something, you know, if you don't have the time to hike or bike out here, we do provide opportunities for you to do that. Know before you go in is very valuable. On our website, we have created a checklist of things that you need in order to be prepared and to have a great experience. One other thing I probably would recommend is playing it safe. Knowing your limitations. Everybody's coming here to have a good time. If you follow our tips and you follow those protocols or those regulations, everybody should have a great experience. You may get into situations where you have exceeded your abilities. That's why we're here. Please don't ever hesitate to contact a ranger, ask questions. We have a visitor center here that does provide many resources for you. Do you need more water? Did you forget sunscreen? Do you need bug repellent? Always stop by the visitor center and always talk to park staff. We're a great source of information for you. If you were to ask me what's my favorite thing, I couldn't give you just one. I watch the sunrise every morning. I watch the sunset every evening. It's just a beautiful place, and I can't answer that question. I really can't.
Another fun destination, Falls Cape State Park, located really at the beginning of the Outer Banks on the southeastern part of Virginia, right on the coastline.
This next state park is surrounded by water. Stay tuned as we visit Belle State Park.
On this edition of Destination Virginia.
Welcome back to Destination Virginia, where we're canoeing, kayaking, biking, and other outdoor activities that end in ing.
Like camping. Barry, did you know that Belle State Park has 7 miles of shoreline on the northern neck Rappahannock River?
That is awesome, Karen. What's great about it, too, is you can rent bikes, canoes, kayaks, hang out at the fishing pier or the boardwalk.
Let's check it out.
Belle State Park is located on the northern neck of Virginia, and we're kind of a peninsula. We've got water on 3 sides. Behind me you see part of Mulberry Creek, and we've also got Deep Creek on the other side of the park, and then we're also right on the Rappahannock River. It's a great day trip for most Virginians, so we're just a little over an hour from Richmond. It's a really easy drive, and just a little closer to 2 for most of coastal Virginia and northern Virginia. So you can pack a lunch, come out to the park, enjoy a hike, get on the water, and be home by dinner time. We have just over 9 miles of hiking trails. There's a little bit of something for everyone. We have trails that go through wooded areas. We have trails that'll take you out to a beautiful view of the river. Most of them are graveled. We also have one accessible trail. That's our Mulberry Creek Boardwalk, where we are right now. It offers fantastic options for wildlife viewing. We have a lot of migratory birds that stop here on their way going north or south. One of the animals that we get the most questions about is groundhogs. Since we do have those agriculture fields, you regularly see groundhogs out there. The trails are great for bikes as well. A lot of them are packed gravel, so they're easy for family biking, and they'll take you out to all the best areas of the park. If you would like to bike, canoe, or kayak, you can bring your own. We have great accessible kayak launch that makes it really easy to launch onto Mulberry Creek, but we also rent bicycles and canoes and kayaks by the hour. We also have a motorboat ramp, and you can bring your own motorboat and access the lower Rappahannock River. We're about 18 miles from the Chesapeake Bay, so it's not too far to go to Urbana for the day or just go out fishing. At our fishing pier, it's a great place to fish with your family. This is brackish water, so it is saltwater fishing. In the creeks, you can fish with your freshwater license, but your saltwater license will cover you in all areas of the park. We have several overnight options available. Our campground with 30 sites that each have water and electric hookup, and you can have tents or RVs there. And in the campground there's also a bunkhouse, which is a great in-between for families that don't really have all the camping gear but kind of want the camping experience. And then we also have our Brewers Point campground, which is a primitive campground. It's hike in or canoe in. It's about a 1.5 mile hike. So if you really want that nature experience and it's going to be really quiet out there and you get some beautiful sunset views, that's the place to go. Our visitor center features the Northern Neck Heritage exhibit. It is an interpretive exhibit that Virginia State Parks put together, and it tells the history and the culture of the Northern Neck. Our camp store features a lot of items for our campers, so snacks, things that you might have forgotten at home, toothpaste, everybody forgets something. And then it also features a selection of gift items as well. And our camp store is the location that you would go to rent our bikes, canoes, and kayaks. We have a Know Before You Go campaign. It's a great idea to check the website before you come out to a park. You're going to find lots of information about the park there. You can find a copy of the trail guide, but you can also find up-to-date information about any park alerts, facility closures, changes to our operations. So that's the perfect place to check all that information before you get to the park. Recreating responsibly is very important to us in Virginia State Parks. Follow some leave no trace principles, so packing out your trash, making sure not to step off trail. Our trails take you into some great areas of the park and you don't want to impact the resources there by walking off trail.
Well, we've hiked, biked, and gone canoeing, and I don't know about you, Barry, but I am worn out.
Oh, not me, Karen. I could go on for hours, but the park is going to close in a minute.
Well, your timing is impeccable. Thank you for joining us as we explored many of Virginia's beautiful state parks.
Yes, from the Northern Neck to the Virginia Outer Banks, we hope you found a new destination to explore.
For information on any of Virginia's beautiful state parks, check out virginiastateparks.gov.
And if you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Destination Virginia, give us a call.
But most importantly, don't forget to make Virginia your next destination. On the southeastern part of Virginia,
it is gorgeous here, Karen, and not only is this Today we're visiting some of the beautiful parks in Virginia. And Karen, what comes to mind when you think of a state park?